And we've got to make up our mind, God, the old things have to die so I can rise to the moment that is before us. Because if we're not careful, we will have done up and missed this moment. Some of us have been put to sleep by our own crises. Anybody see the story of the pilots that they think fell asleep in the air? You know what happens when you fall asleep? They ended up 150 miles past their destination. Oh, this is even better. Then they said, I don't know if we were sleeping. They said, we might have just been fighting. Oh, Lord, that's a message in there. If we spend our time sleeping and we spend our time fighting, we're going to miss the mark of what God has called us to do. And in this church, and the church in general, we don't have the way. It's just like flying. You know, you missed the runway, you've done missed it, you're in trouble. And when you miss your mark, when you miss your destination, we can find ourselves in trouble. We have a moment. I mentioned Iran. I mentioned Israel. I mentioned the crises of this world. I could go on and tell you all the other things going on in the world, but just to say that we have a moment before us. We can either seize it and grab it, or we can cower in the corner and be divided. Now watch this. What made Joshua, we've talked for years, Joshua possessed the land. He did everything he wanted to do. He overcame Jericho. The walls came down. But before they ever did all that, they had to be a principled people, that they had a moment. We have a moment, and what we do with that moment will greatly determine the future of new life. And by the way, not just our church, but what the church world does with this moment will greatly determine what God will do with us. So they had a moment before. So that was the number one. And I just want you to pray and think